So, on this very first problem, you'll notice we already have like denominators. So if you have like denominators, you're already good to go. You're going to keep the denominator the same. You just have to do the math for the numerators. So 1 plus 3, of course, is 4. And you keep the denominator the same. That is not an okay final answer because it is, yeah, 4 divided by 2 is just 2. If you reduce the fraction, you have 2 over 1. Well, you're not technically wrong, but why would you bother, right? Isn't 2 over 1 just 2? So just write it as 2. Okay? So there's your correct final answer. If I look at number 2, again, I already have common denominators. So I just have to add along the top. So 3 plus 9 is 12. You cannot leave your answer like this. You can reduce 12 and 8. What goes into both 12 and 8? 4. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 4 goes into 8 2 times. If you had reduced by 2, that's fine. You would just have to reduce it again by 2. Is this an okay answer? 3 over 2. Yes. I don't care if you leave them as improper fractions. So if you want to change it to 1 1/2, you can, but you don't have to. As long as it's fully reduced, it's fine. Yes. For number 3? Yeah, so difference is subtraction, right? So a difference problem you have to subtract now. Again, the same rules apply. I have to have common denominators. Oh, what luck. I already do. So I just do the math on the top. 5 minus 1 is 4. Can you reduce 4/3? No, you're done. Life is pretty easy when the denominators are already the same. But of course, we're going to change that in a minute. 2/3 minus 1/3.
1/3.
Just 1/3. You keep the denominator the same, and you do the math along the top. Okay? Great. Number 5. I do still have common denominators, but now I have a mixed number and a non-mixed number. So it's kind of up to you how you want to handle this. Does anyone just know the answer already, just by looking at it? Aiden, what's the answer? 2 4/7. If you add these two fractions together, right? Ignore that 2 for a second. I get 4/7. As long as it doesn't go improper, you can do it that way. 1/7 and 3/7 is 4/7, and then I had the 2 whole from the beginning. 2 4/7. If, when you add those two fractions together, you get something that's either 1 or bigger than 1, then I'm going to have to add another thing over here, as we see in number 6, I believe. So if I look at number 6, I do have common denominators, right? So I have 1/4 and 3/4. What do you get when you add 1/4 and 3/4? 4/4, which is really just 1 whole. 6 is the final answer on this one. Now, starting with number 7, I wish I didn't start off 7 like this, but whatever. I don't have common denominators anymore. So now, since my denominators aren't the same, I think it's probably, we're going to have to get common denominators one way or another.
You could ditch the ones if you want to just do regular fraction.
Oh, it's okay. They're going to have to anyway. You mean change the problem? Yeah, I meant to, but it's fine. Devin, what do you think we should do first?
I was going to ask if there's a whole, do you simplify the whole? If there's a whole number in front of the fraction, do you simplify the whole number too?
How would you do that?
So say it was 4 over 1/4. Would you simplify the full number, the 4? With the fraction?
Oh, no. So you mean like reduce the...
Yes.
No, you can't ever do that.
We need 7.
So I would.
Yeah, we're still on 7.
Why are we at 8?
He just had a question about 8. So let's look at 7. The first thing, me personally, what I would do is I would now change these to improper. Do you remember how? What do you do with the bottom number? Multiply and then add. So that's 8 plus 5 gets me 13 over 8 plus, now do this one. Correct. So now I need to get a common denominator for 8 and 5. If you don't automatically know what it is, start with the bigger one and say, all right, 5 can't go into 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Can 5 go into 16? 8 times 3 is 24. Can 5 go into that? 8 times 4, 32. 8 times 5 is 40. That's the first one. So I need to multiply by 5 over 5 and 8 over 8. Okay. 13 times 5 is 65.
I'm not understanding this.
Where did I lose you?
How did you get 5 over 5 and 8 over 8?
What's the smallest number that both 8 and 5 can go into? Isn't it 40?
Yeah, 40.
So I have to multiply 8 by 5. So remember you have to do it on top and bottom?
Oh,
And same thing, I had to multiply 5 by 8, so I do it on top and bottom.
yes.
Now I have common denominators, 65 40ths and 48 40ths. So now what do? I just add the tops, right? And I'm going to keep it over 40. So 65 and 48, real quick, add those together. That's 113. Is there a number that divides into 113 that also divides
Yes.
into 40?
Yes.
What?
Would it be 20 is the bottom number?
You would have to be able to divide 113 by 2, though. And I don't think you can because it's not even.
So,
7?
Can it be 8?
If 2 doesn't work, then 8 won't work either. I don't think there is a number that divides into both of them. So I actually, besides 1, I think we're done.
Can I convert it into a
You can.
I think that's a little too low.
I got it as a mixed number.
What did you say it was?
2 over 4 fifths.
If you did a mixed number, it'd
I
be
cross multiplied them and then add them.
2 and
Let me show you.
33 40ths. Yeah.
I made it a mixed number, so,
Is it 2 and 33 40ths is your answer?
yeah, that's why I was confused.
Okay. Let's try number 8. So, I have one that's just a fraction and one that's a mixed number. Let's change the mixed number into an improper fraction.
Oh, I simplified them.
What's 4 and 1/4 as an improper fraction? 17 fourths. Okay, now 6. 4 can't go into 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Can 4 go into 12? Yeah, so that's my common denominator. What do I need to multiply 6 by to get to 12? 2. And what do I multiply 4 by to get to 12? So I have 2 twelfths plus 17 times 3 is 51.
Yeah.
I think so too. And then 2 twelfths plus 51 twelfths is just,
slow down. Can we slow down?
sure.
What if you just did the
What's that over
fractions?
there? What's that on the left?
This was me figuring out what 17 times 3 was.
Wait, what if you just leave the whole number and then just do the fractions to add the whole number?
So you can. The problem is if the two fractions add up to be more than a whole, then you have to worry about changing that 4 to a 5. So if they don't add up to more than a whole, then you definitely can. I mean, you could do it either way. You just got to keep track of it. So if you want to do the same thing every time and not be doing a different thing depending on, then if you always go to improper, it might take you a little bit longer, but you'll always have, it's always the same process. Especially because I'm not requiring you to go back to a mixed number. So it's up to you guys. If you want to, that's fine. With subtraction, though, it can get really tricky. Is everybody okay on number 8? Yeah? Okay. So now 9, I'm subtracting, but it's the same idea. I have to have common denominators. I don't right now. What will the common denominator be for 3 and 7? What'd you say? 21 is right. Do you know where 21 came from? 3 times 7. Yeah. You can always get a common denominator by multiplying the two together. It's just that sometimes there's a smaller one. Like if you had done that on the last one, you would have said that your common denominator was 24. But 12 is much smaller. So we like to deal with the small number as we can. But sometimes we can't avoid it. So 21 is our best bet. So we're going to multiply by 7 over 7 and 3 over 3. So I get 28 over 21 minus 18 over 21. Yeah,
It's 10 over 21.
is my final answer. You are correct.
90, 10 over 21? Oh, I put it 90 by mistake. 10 over 21.
10 over 21. And then just check if you can reduce. Can you reduce 10 over 21? No.
21's gonna give us some weird, wacky fraction.
It would. So we're just going to leave it. So number 10, I have a mixed number and a fraction. Correct. I would change it to improper first. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11 fourths minus 1/8. What's the common denominator going to be? 8. So I just multiply the first one by 2 over 2. So I get 22 eighths minus 1/8, which is just 21 eighths. Thanks. Can that be reduced? Is there a number that goes into 21 that also goes into 8 besides 1? No. You're done, 21 eighths. You do not have to make it a mixed number for me. If you want to, go ahead. If you don't worry about it. 11. What should you do first? So I have 11 eighths plus, what would this be? 11 fourths. So, is everybody with me? I have 11 eighths plus 11 fourths. So I want to get those denominators the same. All I have to do is multiply this one by 2. Right? I don't have to do anything to the other one because it's already an 8. Huh? Oh my gosh, thanks. So now I'm here. 11 eighths and 22 eighths gets me. Someone said it. I don't know if they said the right answer. But there it is, 33 eighths. Hi.
Hi.
We changed seats.
Here?
I think she's behind Devin. Yep.
Behind Deborah.
33 eighths. Can I reduce 33 eighths? Oh, thank you.
Can I have another one too?
Sure. I do not believe I have a number that divides into both 33 and 8. So I'm done. One left. You may be able to do this one in your head. I don't know. Can you do 1 minus 2/3 in your head? If you can, go for it. If you can't, I'll help you. Think about it. If I have one whole pizza and I give away 2/3 of it, how much is left? 1/3. If you're not sure, you can always, how do I write a whole number as a fraction? 1 over 1, right? You just put it over 1. So now you can do the same thing and work through and get the common denominator. So my common denominator would be 3. So I just multiply by 3 over 3. So it's the same thing as 3/3 minus 2/3, which is just 1/3. Okay, if you can do every single problem on this worksheet, I'm okay with you. I believe that you can add and subtract fractions. I am going to now give you, oh wait,